Here we are at Craigmore in Nova Scotia. This is in Cape Breton in round 3 of the 2023 season. So my second race, doing a hare scramble. I just decided to give this a shot this year. I was able to do South Alton last round, and this is my second time out. So anyway, this is my fastest lap of the day. This was about 9 minutes 23 seconds was my fastest lap. It was my fourth lap of the day at this point, so I had an opportunity to get a couple laps in and do some sighting and kind of see where the obstacles were, and the fast lines and the slow lines, and kind of an opportunity to kind of sort out once the grid kind of spread out a bit, to kind of find that line in the pace. There was 30 riders in our class and several in junior and sportsman as well, so I think there was around 40-ish bikes out on the track starting off, so it led into some lap traffic and different variables that come along with that. So just showing full lap here. She's pretty loose there coming out on that road. The gravel's quite loose, and then it hops down into the ditch here. As the race went on, this kept getting more and more rutted up. So certainly had to kind of pick a line and be smooth. This fastest lap one was probably one of my faster times through here. I had a couple times where I got through there pretty quick. Do need to work on kind of utilizing the open track to get more speed and make up some time. A little hill there. It was steeper than it looks. It's just the GoPro on the wide angle doesn't really show elevation and show how big things actually are. But we're side hilling, so we're climbing here for quite a while here. So the rest of this half a lap is mostly going uphill here, and some side hilling and some switchbacks. This was a really technical, different terrain style track, so the elevation changes made it quite interesting and a lot of fun too. So a little bit of loose rock, smaller rock, so certainly had to have good line choice. Coming up through here, there was a couple rocks and roots there. I was able to kind of, as the race went on, kind of figure out a little smoother line through there. I don't think it was any faster, but just trying to find ways to conserve energy. That was the last race. That's what I kind of found was, just getting gas so quick, and so trying to be smooth and finding those good lines and being consistent on the throttle and the body position. So a couple of these hills, though, are definitely they flowed well as the race went on. The rut kind of grooved out a bit, about like I said, four laps in now for me. So there's a little bit of traffic been out, so it's starting to settle in pretty good. Right here, there was some roots and mostly roots. There might have been a few rocks in there, and a few guys had some issues throughout the race. I am in the process of posting the full race video there. That might actually be up before this one. It just depends on how quickly it uploads, but you'll be able to see a couple riders struggle and stall in that section there. So coming down through here, it's hard to tell, but quite a bit of an elevation drop there, and it's really tight with quite a bit of a drop off pretty close to the edge of the track. So hard to tell from the footage, but if you did slip off, certainly it would have been problematic for sure. But this section through here was fairly quick. You could carry a bit more speed, and then a quick left and a right here. It kind of snuck up on me a couple times. I was trying to click an extra gear, but coming through here was a lot of fun. A little route there and some rocks, but overall just trying to stay on the gas and accelerate through it and just be smooth. It seemed to work out pretty good. Kind of at the top of the track. I think maybe that's where it branched off for the experts in Intermediate A, but I'm not entirely sure. But supposedly they went up higher on the mountain than we did. So I think that might have been my buddy Nick off on the right there. He's running with me today. don't know what position he's in at this point in time, but certainly a little bit of a competitive nature between the two of us. We ride a lot, so today was mostly to try something new, come out to a new track, and have a good time. So, a little bit of a jump there. It worked out pretty good for me as I got used to it. Later in the race, I might have been getting a little sloppy on my body position and throttle control, and it kind of bucked me a few times a little bit, but overall it was pretty good. Coming through here, there's some uphill with some turns, and I don't think that was my fastest time through that section. I had a couple laps where I was able to carry a lot more speed, so certainly the next year my goal is to be more consistent. Each lap I was kind of quicker in different areas, so just trying to put the pieces together, and that's really ultimately how you win a race. So just being consistent everywhere, and it is an hour-and-a-half race, so the endurance piece is certainly important, so that's also something I'm going to work on. I did find this line, a couple guys had done some passes here, and I saw that after they passed a few guys in front of me. Coming down this line, it's kind of off-camber downhill, some rocks and roots. It was problematic for one of my laps. I got a little sloppy and I ended up crashing there, but come across this bridge there, carrying a bit of speed. As the race went on, I carried more speed over that hill after the bridge, and definitely this section I really enjoyed, and as the day went on I was able to flow a bit better. Struggled on this hill. This is the worst attempt I had on this hill, so definitely, even though this was my fastest lap, I know I could have picked up some time there, because multiple other laps I hit that line pretty smooth through there. So, but anyway, that's just the nature of the beast, and each lap's a new one, and so where you do well in one, you don't necessarily the next. So kind of starting to come downhill back into the start finish. This is the later part of the lap here, but this kind of was a fun little bermed area. It was getting grooved out pretty good, and you could carry some speed up through those little turns uphill there, which is pretty fun there. So at this point in the game, I think we've spread out a little bit. The guys ahead of me certainly are really quick off the get-go. That is something I need to work on, is being a little more aggressive in my start, and then trying to get quicker right off the get-go. Certainly being the first time on this track, I'm not super familiar with it, so I do find I need to get that comfort in first. That's historically how I've always been, and once I kind of get an idea of the terrain, and certainly my confidence is increased. A little bit of a jump there. A couple times it bucked me sideways, a little funny. Trying to avoid that water there, and a fun little left-right here, and a few times I kind of came through there pretty quick, and it felt pretty smooth. It was fun. Yeah, so trying a new tire here today. I got a Kenda Ibex on the rear. It's a 120. First time running it. I usually run in the JX8. It's an IRC tire. Just unfortunately right now you just can't seem to find it in Canada right now. So I got this tire from Stuart down at Triple S Cycle Works in Chester. Also running in a Gibson front tire, a 9.1 that I got from Stuart there as well. So certainly the tires are hooking up really well. I have a lot of confidence in the tires, and it's been very predictable. So really digging this setup right now. So certainly I enjoy the IRC, but this might be a setup that I'll continue to run in the future. But anyway, we're kind of coming into the checkered, well, I guess the checkpoint, and that's it for my fastest lap.